channel, Sweet Meadow Farmhouse. This channel is an extension of my blog, sweetmeadowfarmhouse.com, where I share recipes and tutorials, different things like that. But we wanted this to be more of our story as we renovate our farmhouse and establish a homestead and much more. But before we get too much into that, I'm Ashley.
And I'm Steven.
You want to share kind of our big picture plans?
Big picture plans. So we have a lot that we have plans for, including having a small micro dairy with at least a couple different cows that we have intentions of milk, cream, cheese, different things like that. So we're both very excited for whatever that actually happens, but we also want to expand our garden. We want to work on the exterior of the house, the chicken coop, maybe put out some crops in the pasture out back. We have about 7 acres. Inside the house, we have a lot of things that we want to do. Pretty much, I think it's what Ashley kind of says, is that every room will be touched in some way. So we have a lot of things that we will be presenting and doing throughout the time.
Our farmhouse is just about 200 years old. We're not quite sure of the exact date when it was built, but the 1820s. And so it's almost 200 years old on the coast of Maine. Has really good bones, but needs a lot of love. And we are really excited to continue to work on that. What else? What else about the history? We have been here for
a little over 2 years.
2.5. Well, yeah, not quite.
Okay.
And we moved in when I was 7 months pregnant with our first son. And so we were kind of, moving in the middle of winter and just had to, kind of get ourselves situated, and then we're parents. And so we've been adjusting to that and kind of getting settled here. But we're definitely ready for lots of projects, and part of the reason for that is because we're expecting our second baby this fall. So we want to, kind of get some projects underway before our baby arrives.
We've been underway with projects since we moved in.
True.
So this is a focus on priorities of projects. Over the past couple of weeks, I've been working in the other room for the insulation, which is a big project, but that's going to continue into the upstairs. We've been working on getting paint off the floors. So it's wood floors, fantastic, but they've been covered with lead paint, and we're trying to remove all lead from the house. Also, just to clear it up, I prefer wood floors. I like the exposed wood. Preferring traditional ways of doing things, traditional skills, traditional looks,
and that's a really long process to do it safely and properly,
and by hand.
with lots of blocking off areas of the house, and so it's a big project.
Respirators, suits. Some of the little projects here and there have been working on the upstairs bathroom, including replacement of the toilet, which was needed. Part of it just corroded. It just looked like fecal matter. It was fairly disgusting. So we replaced that. Luckily I had some help with her dad being here, and there have been a lot of little things that we haven't covered that I will have completely forgotten about because there are so many little things. Another future project of mine is to develop an electrical plan for the entirety of the house, which is extensive with the electrical. I've already made floor plans manually drawn, but I would like to put them in electronic format. So do you want to move into current plans?
Inside the house, we are working on renovating, just kind of minor renovations, our half bath. It's a downstairs half bath, kind of under the stairs, and so we've painted. We still have a little more painting. I'm going to do kind of a faux plaster finish on that. We have to remove a wall, but that will be coming soon.
We didn't talk about the chickens!
Okay, so we've had some exciting things happening on the farmhouse this last week or so. We did spend about 10 days where my son and I were staying in town while he did some extra insulation stuff, and during that time we've had some hens that were sitting on some eggs out in the coop, and we were just like, we'll just let them do that. And
for the first time in years, they've been broody.
We didn't expect anything.
Just let that happen because it was interesting, the fact that they were broody.
And
turns out they were broody for a reason, and it resulted in a random night, right before we're closing up the coop, I heard a chick running across the floor. And about every day since then, we've had another chick. So we're 9 right now.
9 chicks in. So we have 9 chicks that were hatched by these broody hens, and that's been unexpected.
Last one was this morning.
But really fun.
So, yeah.
If you want to follow along as we renovate our farmhouse and our garden, make sure you hit subscribe and join us for more.
Absolutely. Now, let's go outside.
So another one of our big projects, which is just going to constantly be going, is our garden. So this was just a big grass field over here, and last year Stephen really wanted to start a garden. I was not so enthusiastic about it at the time. I've actually really enjoyed getting to spend time in the garden with just, with our son. It gives us something to do when we're outside because he loves to be outside.
Alright, so one of the first steps we're kind of doing is, so from scratch we put posts in the ground. So these are from the land that I stripped the bark off of. They're 8 feet long, put 3 feet in the ground, so about 5 feet above ground and compacted. They're holding up really well, and we're going to do that, continue out the rest of the garden. First step we had to do was clear the grass, and which is very difficult to do because there's so much rock. There's so much rock that that first year that we did, which was last year, we only did about 4 or 5 feet wide for the length. So right where that garlic is, all the way up here, that's all we could do because there was so much rock. If you want, I can go over the process of how I screened that, which is a process I actually got from my archaeology days, and which is what we're going to do for the rest of this. It's a very slow process by hand, but that's how I like it, is doing everything by hand in the hard way. So what we're doing right now is a continuation of that process, and we've been clearing back this grass slowly, and then we're just going to keep that going. And once that grass is cleared, we're going to be planting potatoes. In the areas that we need to actually get the rocks out, we'll go ahead and do that and do it as available. But right now it's just kind of clear that.
So now what I'm going to do is take some of our seedlings and to plant them into individual pots. What has worked best for me over the couple of years that I've been gardening, not very long, but definitely learning, is to take a handful of seeds, this is like 12 to 15, and put them into one of these like small to medium sized pots. And then these are a little too long, but we're just going to go with it. So I threw those into here, and then now each one of these will get their own little pot, and they'll grow in there until they're ready to be hardened and planted out in the garden. So that's what I'm going to do today with these are cucumber, and then we have pumpkins, we have watermelon. I've already done the tomatoes. I did those a couple weeks ago, but we are going to get these going. We have a room upstairs. It's a little bit warmer, a little bit sunnier, so they've been up there, but now we're bringing them all down here. We'll repot them outside, and then they'll kind of stay down here for a little while until we're ready to start the hardening off process. Let's head outside.